Welcome back to another episode of the Gimmick Podcast.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tyler. Yeah. So, yeah. So this week, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. For sure.
Have you heard about these stocks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Gamestop, with AMC, with BlackBerry, with Dogecoin, which is not a stock but a cryptocurrency that they've gone after now. They're just picking random meme like stocks to go after to try to fuck with the system. A few things. First of all, by the time you hear about it, it's too late to invest.
Right.
The people who started it are the ones in charge. They're the ones that are going to make the most amount of money. They're going to tell you when to dump after they've already dumped theirs. So it's already too late. Anybody who wants to get like after a day or two, it was too late. These things only last like a day. So they've come up with so many memes and stuff, and
yeah, apparently the Robinhood app they've disabled for commercial stock buyers. They've disabled certain stocks.
Not for commercial. It's like it's for just anybody that uses Robinhood. Unless you have like special approval, you can't buy. So I mean, you can only sell.
So much.
Like, oh, that's not a big deal. You can sell to people on other platforms. That's a problem still.
So much for a free market.
Yeah. So they've
it's only free when rich people get to do it.
Yeah. That's the problem. So it's like purposely plummeting it. And I was telling my buddy, I was like, if you think the American people, just Joe Blow is just going to be able to get together with other Joe Blows, is this guy really fucking whistling right now? It's that weirdo. The fucking dog, dude.
Okay, Red, remember to cut this.
Oh, no, I'm not going to cut that. Fuck people like that. Anyways, dude, his dog's like, I don't know what he speaks like. The guy can speak English, but he speaks like Russian or something to that dog. It's very strange. But the guy's like very antisocial, and his dog is no better. Like he literally waits at the end of the hallway for us to get out. Like if I'm going down the hallway, he will act like he goes in the next door, and I'll be coming down, and I know he's waiting there because I can hear the dog like moving around. And then when I get in, he'll go down because he knows his dog's gonna like fucking bite somebody or something.
Well, he's trying to be responsible, I guess.
Dude, his dog is fucking nuts, dude. He at one point he had a cone on it. Like this looked like some stray dog he took in.
Maybe.
Like it's so weird. I'm like, this guy is like a murderer. And he's just like taking the rest of his years out of his life by just chilling in an apartment. Just like trying to just hide away. But anyways, about the stocks. Yeah, by the time you know about it, it's too late. And it's a lot of these things like my buddy told me before anything ever happened, like negatively, he's like, yeah, dude, I just got AMC stock. I'm like, bro, AMC isn't even in business right now. What are you doing?
Yeah, most of the places are closed.
Like, yeah, and they've been talking about going bankrupt this month, like a month ago. So it's like, I just think that's a really fucking stupid idea to get that. Because I'm like, by the time you know, it's already too late. Like you have to be there right when you see the shift happen to try to get some. But if it's been a few hours, God knows how much it's. His dad bought them when it was double the price. When it doubled, I'm like, that's like if you didn't know what it ended up being, I think it was for GameStop or something. But if you didn't know what it was going to end up going to, that is crazy. You don't like within what is it? Within like a day or something. It was like double the price of what it was, or maybe within an hour or two or something. I'm like, dude, you know, hindsight is 2020, but at the time, I think that's just a really dumb idea. You're paying double the price for a stock that, you know, was half the price a few hours ago. That's stupid because most likely it's going to crash. They don't normally go up like that. That's why this is such a strange moment.
Right.
And he got lucky. There wasn't any skill behind that. He got lucky. You know, and I told him too, I'm like, you know, the government is mainly funded by these people that you're screwing over. There ain't no way you're going to be able to buy all of this and outsmart them. All of these people think they're fucking geniuses because they've made some profit, if they made any after all the shit that happened. But they think they're fucking geniuses and that they're going to somehow take down the big man. That means taking down the government, essentially. A lot of their fucking money comes from these people. And if you think you're going to take down those people, you're fucking nuts. It's much easier to track taxes. And obviously some people don't pay taxes, but it's much easier to track it on like a smaller group of people that make a majority over everybody. There's a reason they don't audit everybody all the time. Like, it's rare, like, you know, it's rare when you get audited from what I hear, but that's only because they can only put so much resources into it.
Right. So,
you know, there's no way the government can even afford to have everybody be super rich or something, because there's no way they could check into everybody. But there's a reason why not everybody gets audited, because it's a trust system. They're trusting you to report your shit correctly. Otherwise, they would send you a bill. If they knew what you owed, they'd just send you a fucking bill. But they don't know all of that. They're hoping you'll admit the stuff that they don't know about. And so, yeah, dude, they're not going to let these people. And we've seen it now. They're just Robinhood stopped letting you buy it. They'd only let you sell it, which is like it's going to crash. So they give you the privilege of letting it crash. And it did crash. Now it's like apparently you can get cryptocurrency through Robinhood, which they also restricted. It doesn't say that they stopped, but they've like put some restrictions behind the cryptocurrency. Because I heard when he told me he was going to Dogecoin, I'm like, yeah, they're going to go after that too. Like the government isn't going to just let you guys do this. They're going to step in. There's been some people in the government, they're like, we can't allow these companies to stop it. But I can tell you right now, they're being paid by these fucking big giant corporations and stuff. They're going to be bought off. Maybe one or two want to stop it, but you got to have them all in on it. And it ain't going to happen. So what's going to end up happening is there's going to be laws written to limit how much the regular person can do without a license or something. They're going to come up with some bullshit of like the everyday man can't just go out and buy a whole bunch, or they're going to like claim like insider trading, or I don't know what the fuck they'd claim. They'd claim something, some rule they're going to come up with that makes this illegal is what I'm feeling is going to happen. They haven't said that.
Which is a little ironic.
Yeah. They want you to believe it's a free trade system, but it's not. So hardly ever do people just make it into there and make millions. You're not hearing of some guy that was on the like there have been guys who have been on the street who have done it, but you got to be just really lucky to make it through and stuff like that. What did I get? Okay. But yeah, all these people think they're so smart. It's like, yeah, you're a big group of people that keep saying Gamestop and stuff like that. You're not a fucking genius. Like, if you can consistently do it without having a bunch of fucking people in a group doing it, then I'd be like, wow, you have some skill in doing that. But you didn't get. It's not even luck at a certain point, because there's so many people that were doing it. It was forcing it to happen. But I have told people, because it was so early on, nobody saw the end game of what's going to happen, is there have to be losers in this. Somebody's got to lose for somebody to make. So
remember, the house always wins.
Yeah, the house is the government, and they're going to fuck you over. So because all of these big businesses and stuff, they've had to take out, like, I heard of one of them, I think had to take like, I think it was a $1.5 billion loan. Like, they ain't going to let that happen. They're going to come after us. So I'm just watching from the sidelines, and it's stressing me out watching because I know where this is going.
Right.
There's no way they're going to let the American people run the show. They just won't. Governments never let that happen. So why would they do it now? We've seen what happens with these things and the crashes and stuff like that. If nothing happens and the government steps in to allow the people to do it, then the America you know right now is not going to be the same.
Right.
All those companies being fucked, like,
I would kind of like to see it go down like that, but
people want to see it. But I'm telling you, the structure that you know now, the positives that you know, are going to be all gone. That have to do with like businesses and stuff. Obviously there's a lot of negatives, but
what's sad,
there's got to be a balance here. You can't just completely destroy all of these companies. What's left? Where are you going to get your money from?
Right. Which kind of makes me think of this whole debate that's going on right now with making minimum wage $15,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. But yeah, because minimum wage hasn't kept up at all with inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a little bit.
I think there's some states that are still at like 7 something.
Yeah.
So like, but think about their lifestyle change, how that'll be double the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you go to like California, it's only like $1 or $2 more, I think, an hour.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But does that mean if they do the minimum, there's no way all states are going to just increase their shit by double.
We'll see what happens. But the people that are being anti-minimum wage, I'm seeing all these people on my social media that are being anti, like,
they're
$15. Burger flippers shouldn't get $15 an hour. Oh, really? All of us who have been working through this pandemic don't deserve, you're okay with getting Postmates over there.
Exactly.
Well, you're okay with endangering. Yes. You're okay with endangering these people's lives. But then all of a sudden they want to get paid well. And now you're a burger flipper. Well, okay.
It's like,
okay.
Yeah, they're
sure, Jan.
Yeah, they're talking about they don't like that, but yet they're the ones that go get the burgers from McDonald's. Yeah. And if you don't think that's how much they should get, then don't fucking go there.
It's weird watching the people from back home defend it too, because it's like, bro, I know you don't make much. Who are you standing up for?
The people that do make minimum and minimum wage and defend the choice to keep it low.
What? Who do you think you're defending?
Well, people's main argument is that you change minimum wage by increasing it's going to increase everything.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, it's like, yeah, you charge you're paying your workers more, but you're going to have to find a way to survive. I mean, some's got to give. And it can't always be it can't be the customer, and it can't be the worker all the time. You can't go like, oh, we'll pay more for the workers, but we'll hire less, or it'll be a combination of hiring less and charging more on the products. And
it's so funny because it was those people that would sit outside at 7 a.m. and like root on these essential workers as they come home or whatever. Because it was all them people who were like acting like they appreciated all these essential workers and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But now those are the ones sitting here like
maybe.
Oh,
we got to remember this.
Now I'm a burger flipper. Now I'm a whatever.
Well, we gotta remember too that not everybody of those two opinions are the same person.
No, yeah.
That people that believe that minimum wage shouldn't go up isn't necessarily the person that was like praising the workers and stuff. We don't know. You'd have to like cross-examine the rest of their comments.
Well, my thing is, being from the Midwest, I am sure.
Mm-hmm.
We dealt with a lot of those people.
If they believe it's not worth that, then just stop using everything that pays minimum wage. It ain't gonna happen, Captain. You can't go to the grocery store. You just can't. Go farm then, because you can't use the grocery store. Oh, you like using the grocery store? Then shut the fuck up.
And I feel
if you use those things, you have no opinion, unless it's to increase the minimum wage.
I feel like the people that say this stuff too have never had one of those jobs. They've never they've never had one of those crappy
that they're
jobs.
Better now because they have a much better job.
Ridiculous expectations.
Well, they're also like, people like to separate themselves, right? So when these lower jobs that they consider lower start making closer to what they're making, they're like, how come this person who makes burgers gets close to what I'm making? But guess what, bud? Your shit's gonna go up too. It doesn't just stop with minimum wage. There's going to be a reason the money's going to increase because they have to be competitive. Because why would you want to go work some like stressful job that you could just go work at a fucking burger place?
And seriously, know your worth, man, because that's not fair of us to be doing this to these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've done those jobs. We know how ridiculous those expectations are, how they start cutting people and they expect you to do more. Do you remember the time that one of the managers tried to make you, was it clean the bathroom?
No. He was saying that if I want you to clean toilets, you'll clean toilets. And I'm like, I'm not your bitch. I straight up told him that. I'm like, I'm not your bitch. We were in a meeting because I was getting in trouble for talking back. But at a certain point, you gotta have some respect for yourself. You can't fucking let people walk all over you. What happens is he was allowing other people to tell him no, that they didn't want to do something, and he didn't want to deal with the stress, and he thought he could just tell me to do it, and I would just give in. And I was like, no. And I knew what was going on. He tried to deny it, but I know because I'm just looking around and could see the fucking writing on the wall of what's going on. And I told him no, and he gets all angry, and then he wants to do a meeting with a union rep, or not a union rep. He wanted to just do a meeting and yell at me, essentially, where I'd sit down and he would just yell at a high voice, and I'm like, I want my union leader.
He tried to yell at me.
You call it like a lawyer, essentially.
Yeah,
And you don't talk. You just you just keep repeating, I want my union rep. I want my union rep. I want my union rep. And the union rep came in and saw him yelling at me and did not like that, because it's like, you're not supposed to talk to me once I request one.
Dude, unions are super important. They really are.
If they didn't have a union rep that day, I wouldn't have talked to him. I'd been like, I don't know what you want me to do.
And that's just like that stuff was not in your job description. Okay. That was my thing too. I'm only getting paid this amount. You want me to be doing all this extra? Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. You don't pay me enough to be doing that too.
Well, it wasn't the bathroom. It was to go up on the lane and stuff. But other people would just like argue with him, and he'd just give up right away. And then how I figured it out is I'd be in a different aisle, and I'd hear the phone ring, and I knew what the phone sounded like for ours. And I'd hear one of the other workers answer, and then all of a sudden it would ring to me. I'm like, that motherfucker, because this person has a history of telling him no and getting away with it. And then I'm like, that motherfucker just told him no, and now I'm gonna have to do it. And he tells me to go up, and I'm like, no. I just heard you call that other person. Tell them to do it. I was like, you can't just go around switching to different people. No. He got fucking angry. So we got in an argument. I told him I'm not his bitch. That's it. I was going to quit if he was going to try to make me if he's going to keep talking to me like that. I wasn't going to stick around. There are plenty of other jobs and stuff to be treated better. So.
That's true. Yeah. He tried to yell at me once. And he kind of like,
about what?
So again, it was about clerking. Okay, he wanted me to go up, and I had literally just got back from lunch. I had just picked up my phone, and I went and grabbed stock to go put stuff out. And he comes up to me all red-faced and angry about not answering my phone and blah, blah, blah. And like, he sees me pulling this back. I'm like, I just literally got back.
You guys never told people when you were going to lunch, did you?
No, we did. We would tell each other. But if I literally just got my phone. So I never got I had my hands full of the cart. I heard my phone ring. And I was like, but I had to I'm in the middle of an aisle. I can't stop to pick this up right this second. I need to find a spot. I literally just pulled the cart over to a safe place to actually go to the phone. By that point, it had already, he'd already hung up.
Specific spot to answer a phone? You go to a specific spot to answer a phone? No,
it was I'm in the middle of a busy aisle. I can't stop in the middle of this aisle to pick it up right now. I need to pull into an aisle or into a spot that I'm not in the middle of everybody trying to answer the phone with this big old cart blocking everyone's way. Yeah. And so I go to check the thing to see who to call back, and he comes round the corner just red-faced at me. Trying to yell about how when I call you need to answer, blah blah blah. I literally just got the phone back. So I hadn't I like, just got the one phone call. I don't know how many times he called me, but I just like, and I'm pulling back. I just literally got back, dude.
Yeah, that was towards the end of him working there because he was retiring.
And I saw his
but
face.
It's like it doesn't matter.
He realized
he's not supposed to act like that at all ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's on him. It's not on us. It's on him. He's the guy in charge. So, yeah, no, I was pretty. After that, I was like, well, he's never gonna treat me nice again. So,
I still can't believe the time I had to push that woman. What, me of all people?
The thing is, I don't think you have to push anybody.
No,
you just chose to.
But one of the managers called and asked me. For some reason, me.
Yeah.
Okay, now this woman was large, and she
was fat.
That's not kind.
Was she fat or large? Large is different.
She
fat means like really big.
She was big. But I'm also trying to be fair in that she clearly had some bandages and things. Like she'd probably just had some kind of surgery or she just had some kind of whatever.
What were the bandages? Around her legs?
I think leg and arm. But anyways, that's not the point. I think she had a medical condition, but she was a larger woman.
Diabetes because there's like shit that happens to your legs and stuff. And I've seen people that wrap their legs up that are really overweight.
Could be, but I think she also mentioned like having had surgery and stuff. So I'm trying to be fair and to this woman. So it's a larger woman, and she's in one of those. I don't know where our drive. Well, she couldn't be in that other when you couldn't drive because she had to have her leg positioned in a particular way that you just couldn't do with those carts. Her leg had to be sitting up at a certain angle.
Oh Jesus!
So she couldn't use the little mechanical ones. So for some reason they call me, and I'll keep in mind I'm like 30 pounds lighter than I was 30 pounds lighter than I am now. I'm 5'1".
How old do you think she was?
And I have a heart condition.
Yeah. How old do you think she was?
40s, 50s.
Okay, you're getting pretty far from your mic now.
Yeah. But
40s, 50s,
40s or 50s maybe.
Heavy. She's probably not alive now.
Well, I don't know, but anyways, point being, so. Keep in mind, I'm like 130 pounds. I'm 5'1" with a heart condition. And they're asking me to help push around this maybe like 300-pound woman.
She's probably heavier than that. If you can't really push her in a wheelchair, she's probably heavier than 300.
I don't know. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. But anyways, like
it does.
It was impractical. Like the fact that they had me. Like, what universe do I look like the one who's gonna be able? We literally half of the guys in your department were twice me. Or like, why? Why the tiny chick with a heart condition?
I probably would have said no because like you're pushing somebody around and most people are in there for an hour or so. Like that's a fucking workout.
She was quick.
Why couldn't she just ask for the stuff she wanted and somebody go get it for her?
I don't know.
Like, do you have a list? Okay, I'm gonna go get it real quick. Yeah. So much easier.
I don't know.
Thank God. She probably, if she's still alive, she's using the thing that just goes get stuff for her. Gets it sent to her house.
Oh, shipped or whatever? Yeah. She didn't it didn't take very long, and she was very polite about it, and I did my best. And of course, I was trying to be conscientious and not be rude or, mean or cruel or anything, because I don't know this lady's full circumstances. There could be a lot of things. There's a lot that you don't know. So I'm just trying. And I think that is why they chose me. Because
why?
Because I'm not gonna be a dick.
See, here's the moral of that story. be a dick, because then you don't have to push around some fatty in a wheelchair.
Hey,
it's true. She obviously wasn't like fat shamed enough in her life, because if she makes it to her 50s and she's so overweight that she can't move.
No, she had just had some kind of surgery.
Dude, if you could hardly push her and she's in a wheelchair, she's fucking heavy.
She's heavy, yes, but at the same time, I'm also not trying to be over here being rude. Which is probably why they were probably worried that someone from your guys' department would say something cruel.
I mean, for look at her health. It obviously wasn't the best. She's not going to live much longer. Like, if she was healthier, she wouldn't be in that wheelchair. I mean, I've seen people who aren't even that overweight, and like, it wasn't just surgery. It was like people that you would see often in those chairs. Like, unless they had some deformity from a child, but it's so often you would see people in them where you're like, man, you were just killing your body by sitting in that the whole time. Like, every time you go out, you can't walk around a store. And it's a lot more people than people that would have like chronic back problems. We're talking about like to a point that we couldn't even find those chairs some days, like those electric ones. And I'd find people that need them and being like, we don't have any.
Oh.
That's what happens. It's just people are getting fatter and fatter. And now it's like the whole pandemic didn't make it any better. So,
I mean, there is some statistics to back that up that health and weight are rising.
I mean, just look around. You can see it. Especially in the Midwest.
Well, again,
California, not so much.
You want to know how I gained those 30 pounds?
It was from the fucking pandemic.
No, I've been pretty consistent since we've been here. I gained those 30 pounds because when we would get out of work.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, that was over 3 years ago. You can't blame that anymore.
I'm not talking about blaming. I'm just thinking this is what I think. I think it started.
No.
I can pinpoint.
I
know when my weight started rising.
I can pinpoint though.
I know when my weight started rising.
You eat pasta all the time.
So?
Pasta is not good in that big, high amounts of consumption. A full-ass plate of pasta. That's the biggest one.
Anyways.
I'm just saying.
Then you would think I'd be getting bigger, and I'm not. See, I'm saying like, the tipping point was the job that we were just talking about. You and I would get out around 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
But we were on a job that we were active, moving around and stuff.
Sometimes, yes. But at the same time, eating that late as we were, there was also 8 fast food restaurants in that mile?
I don't know. They weren't all open when we got out. There was only like 1 or 2.
No, McDonald's was open. Taco Bell was open. Arby's was open.
Taco Bell wasn't open. It was mostly going to Arby's. And we didn't go there.
We did mostly go to Arby's. The thing is,
we didn't go there that long. It was like a month or 2. And I stopped because I was like, this isn't healthy.
Well, I didn't.
Guilty.
Is the thing.
Okay, well, then don't blame me.
I'm not. No, that's not what I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying I know where that started for me. And it was, we would want to spend time together after work. We would be hungry. We wouldn't want to wake everyone else up by making something when we got to one of our houses. So it's, and there's within that mile between work and home was 8 fast food restaurants, and they were pretty much all open when we got out.
There's nothing.
So it was real easy to get the combo and then go home and go to sleep, which is probably not great for you to eat that much and then try to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's been over 3 years now.
I know, but it's just like...
It's been like 3.5 years since I've even worked there.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone however long before. I think it's been 4 years since I ate the Arby's there and whatnot. So 4 years. Yeah. I mean, at some point you can't blame that anymore.
No,
it's just like a woman who blames like having a baby like years later.
No, that's not what I'm not blaming. And hey, you don't know.
Just saying like 4 years after you have a baby and you're still saying it's baby fat.
Your body changes after you have a child.
Yeah, but when they're blaming it on like, oh, because you had the baby that you're just stuck with weight for the rest of your life.
I think you're correlating a little bit.
I'm just giving an example of another situation where people blame stuff years later.
It's not about blame. This was where I think that tipping point was. This is where I think that kind of started.
So are you saying you just eat like that ever since?
Not all the time, but yeah. I mean, I drink more pop than I probably should.
Because if you weren't doing it like that, then I mean, if you think you gained it because of that, your body would have changed.
Well, it did. I gained that weight.
No, but I'm saying since then, if you changed it where you weren't doing that and you're blaming it on that, then your body would have changed if you think that's the reason, is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm thinking I'm saying like that's where I pinpoint it starting, because before I didn't usually eat much from those restaurants on the way home. Mm-hmm. Before that, we would do that more when once we started getting together. Mm-hmm. So I did eat more fast food at that point, and that definitely shifted things.
She always blames me for that. She'll always.
I'm not blaming you because I know we both wanted to eat. I'm just saying I think that's the pinpoint. You're saying blame, and it's not blame that I am saying.
I'm telling you, you'd usually be like, well, all the food. You'd bring up the topic, and then you'd be like, yeah, and it's all because when after work we'd go to Arby's. You would say it in a very blamey tone.
That I was usually being sarcastic and
bring it up all
teasing
the time, though,
you.
So
well, I'm just saying I know that's when that tipping point started. Is when I ate more fast food then than I normally did, and I started gaining more weight. Which honestly, I don't care. It's not. I just know that was that tipping point. I can kind of like put that there because it's true. I wasn't eating like that before.
Okay.
That's not blame. That's just.
But you're saying like the way you talk about it, it's almost like oh well.
Well,
you at one point you said, "Oh, my body's just changing." It's like
it does
there's a certain point, but like the way that you're talking about it, like it just one day there's a switch and then that's it, and you can't change it or anything.
No, this has been a gradual thing. As you get older, your metabolism changes.
Well, it must be nice that your metabolism was different for you. My metabolism has been shit since I was a kid. I've had to fight that motherfucker all my life.
See, and of course, men and women, that shift is different.
I don't have the metabolism like most kids when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always had weight issues my whole life. I didn't have a metabolism where I could just eat endlessly and be super skinny. So no, I actually had to work to try to keep it off. If I didn't put a limit on stuff, I would literally be like, I'd probably be dead because I would have gained so much weight.
See, and that's one thing too. I know your relationship with food is very different from mine. So it's why I tend to, when we decide we're going to eat out somewhere or whatever, I tend not to suggest things because I want to know what you're comfortable with. Because I know that you've kind of put restrictions and you're trying to be healthy and you're trying to do better for yourself. So I'm trying not to be a stumbling block.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot more saying no than yeses with Rachel.
Well, I don't, because I know the way you've explained it to me.
Yeah, but you play this game with that and I've caught on.
What?
We're like, she suggests it without suggesting it.
No, see,
she's that's like, I'm just really hungry tonight. I'd be like, oh, well then go to Vons. Well, that's just, that's so far away. Yeah, Rachel, it's like, I think it's like two blocks or something. I just,
No, it's not 2 blocks.
I just, I don't really want to make anything. I'm like, so you just want something that's easy to cook? I don't want to dirty any dishes. I just, the dishes, I don't know. Be like, oh, so you want some kind of fast food? Yeah. Now that you say it, sounds, fast. That sounds pretty good. I'm like, so pizza, huh? And she's like, yeah.
Well, see, that's not usually how that goes. I'll ask you, hey, I'm thinking
I can
about
tell when
going.
you really want pizza. And I can see that you're almost smirking when you even suggest pizza.
No, because I don't suggest it.
I can just see this like evil grin in her face. She's like, man, pizza sounds so good right now. And you try to do like this, like,
well, I try
not smile.
I try not to say that stuff because I know the way you've explained it to me. Saying that stuff means that you now can't get it out of your head. That it's different for you. I'm much more of a casual person when it comes to that. Oh, maybe I'll order pizza, or maybe I'll have some ice cream.
Casual is not casual. Your tone sounds casual, but the way you keep implementing it is not casual. She wants me to pick. Always.
Well, again, because like I said, I'm trying.
Even since the beginning of the relationship, you've always I'll be like, Rachel, you pick something. And you'll be like, I don't really know. We'll never have any suggestions. I'm like, throw a bunch out there and we'll see.
Well, because I'm also trying to think about what you would want. I'm pretty easygoing.
No, but I didn't ask for what I want.
Right.
I would have told you what I wanted. I asked you what you wanted and you wouldn't tell me.
See,
I've never gotten an answer from Rachel ever, I don't think. For food. I don't think I've ever gotten you to pick. I've thrown a few options, and even then it's hard. It's like I have to give you 2 options. Be like this or this, and what I'll do sometimes is I might pick one that's a little bit worse just because I know it'll make it easier for you to pick. If I give you something that's too close, then you'll be conflicted. You won't know. Be like, yeah, that sounds good, but that sounds good also. And I'm like, motherfucker, will you just pick one?
Well, I also because you've explained the food thing to your food thing with me too. I also am trying not to be a stumbling block.
It's only more of a recent thing, though. That's not for the majority.
Even then, because you explained that a long time ago, so I really do try to. I've been from early on tried to be aware of that.
Well, if you tell me what you your different options, I can pick something out of those options.
But see, the way you explained it, that's not the best way to do it. Because then it's in your head and
Rachel
you want the thing.
Of the in the head and wanting it, Rachel will say, man, ice cream sounds good right now. And there is no other options. Ice cream sounds delicious. Well,
again, it's casual, but maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll actually go get it, and maybe I won't.
And you'll do one of these
it's just offhanded.
Oh, that sounds so good. And then instantly in my head, I just see the ice cream commercials where the scooper goes across.
Right.
And I think of the ice cream I like, and she'll do stuff like that, but she won't ever suggest anything else. So it's not the same. You'll be like, oh, pizza sounds so good right now, but you won't say just oh, I might have some pizza. You'll say that once in a while, but most of the time it's you almost are an advertisement for the stuff you talk about that sounds good. Oh, pizza sounds so good right now. It's I didn't need to hear all of that. I just need to hear if you're going to ever say something, be like, I think I'm going to get pizza or something. But the way that you say I think is more of do I agree or you're going to get it. You never say I'm going to get. You say I think I'm going to get. You'll be like, yeah. You'll say certain places and you'll be like, I think I'll get that. But that's always her saying, I'm going to get this. What do you think? Do you want to go in on it?
Yeah. Well, essentially, but also usually the way it goes is when I'm on my way home from work, I'll call you and say, hey, have you eaten?
Yeah, but I'm talking about
say you haven't,
you'll be sitting over there on the bed and you'll be like, I think I'm going to go get blah, blah, blah. But that means you're going to go get it.
Well, it depends on if I've already got my shoes on, but sometimes I might just be see. You don't always see me either. I don't always say this. But I do think things quite like that quite a bit.
I assume you think things without saying it.
With food, I'm very much a window shopper. Maybe I'll eat that. Maybe I'll eat that.
Because you'll be sitting over there. You'll say, I think I'm gonna go get this, and you almost always go get that. There's no changing.
Because by the time I say that, it means that I've kind of picked my window shop.
So it's not, I think I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get it.
It's usually.
The only time you say you're going to go somewhere is 7-Eleven. You'll be like, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven. You never go, I think I'm going to go to 7-Eleven. But everything else, it's always, I think. It's weird.
Well, it's also to see oh, great. So in case you want to be like, oh, yeah, could you get me this?
Well.
Or whatever.
But that's not going to change if you say I'm going. Compared to I think. If you say I'm going, I'm not going to be like, oh shit, I can't suggest anything.
I guess that's my way of sparking a conversation.
But you could spark it with I'm going. Don't have to do I think. Why is the chain? I just like it's weird.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Again, I'm very casual that way when it comes. But I'm very easygoing too. So when I say I don't know, it's because I want you to get the food that you want. Because I'm sure I'll find something that I like to eat wherever we're going. So by letting you kind of take the lead there, it means that you know that you like whatever this place is.
I would just let you know. I've never been shy about letting you know what I think, so why would it change?
No, exactly. That's why and I'm willing to try new things. I'm willing to be more adventurous with food and all that.
Well, that's why I try to give you multiple options so that there's something in there that you might like.
Well, and like I said, wherever we go, I'll find something. I'm not picky. I'm not, but I know that you have particular.
You've been picky sometimes, though.
Occasionally, but
I'll
not
suggest
normally.
A bunch of stuff, and you're like, "Well, I'm not really feeling into Italian today." I don't know. You always do like this, what is that called? Where you're not stating anything. You're just like, in your tone.
Well, it's an uncertainty because I don't know.
No, that is not uncertainty. It's I don't want to do this one. That's what that means. Whenever you go,
it's more of a I think.
So I'm just like, no, because I've been like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you don't want anything? It's always that. I'm like, that's a no. So I gotta find something where it's not because you've done that where I'll suggest stuff and you'll keep doing it over and over. I'm like, that's when I go, Rachel, where do you want to eat? Because I don't know what else there is.
See, I think women...
At a certain point, I just throw it at the wall. I'm like, I don't even care about this fucking place, but I'm going to see if she'll say yes or no. But it's never a no. It's
Gosh, you make me sound like a female cliche.
I don't know what to tell you, but that's what you do. And it's frustrating sometimes because I'm like, dude, I just want to know what I'm putting in my fucking mouth.
Well, I am also used to, my family. Big and loud. So I'm typically the one that's kind of going along.
I don't know how you live like that. You've never been like, I want this.
Sometimes, but then usually when I say that, it's because I know that they'll also want it too.
Yeah, fuck that. When I was a kid, there was something called Old Country Buffet, and I wanted that every time.
Buffets have an advantage.
Yeah, because
everybody can kind of get what they want.
Yeah. And it was like the special thing. So
yeah.
Old Country Buffet. Yeah. Dude, nothing ever matched Old Country Buffet.
Fire Mountain's delicious though.
It wasn't the same though.
It was good.
Old Country Buffet. I wonder if there's any states that have those still, or if it just all went out.
There is a buffet next to where I work.
It's not called Old Country Buffet.
I don't remember what it's called. Something. I think the Down Home Buffet or something.
That probably sounds so weird to people who don't know what I'm talking about. Old Country Buffet. If you really think about the name. Yeah, I don't know. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
I don't know.
We're just talking about food.
I know. We haven't eaten lunch yet. We should probably do that after this.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
I gotta post this and then I'm gonna see how much time I have left and get food if I have time before I leave.
Yeah, we could order something before you go.
Yeah. Well, what do you want, Rachel?
I don't know. We can figure that out later. Anyway, so was there anything else you wanted to talk about? That stare. Ooh, the Sandman casting. What?